What it do, Dream Team? It's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with why Americans don't know geography. Not a video Americans don't know geography and just clowning them and asking them these questions and laughing at them because we don't know geography. I definitely don't know geography. But here we go with why. She's going to explain why we don't know geography. But before we jump in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You can subscribe to any of it. Put all the links in the description. All you got to do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Sure, man. I talk back. If you got a favorite video suggested, you can subscribe to Patreon or in the description of the Google form link. What we got?
Ahoy, Vashikni. It's Jen from Dream Prague,
What they do,
which
Jen?
is the capital of the Czech Republic, which is a country in Europe, which is not in Canada.
Jen, she said, let me make it as simple as I can for y'all. I'm from Prague, which is the capital of Czech Republic. Czech Republic is a country in Europe, not in Canada. She said, let me break it down, because I know y'all don't know geography. That's what the video about. So I'm going to make it easy for you. We like it. We appreciate it, Jen. We appreciate it.
In Europe, which is not in Canada. Sorry, that was for my American viewers. In this series, I asked my Czech viewers what they just don't understand about Americans.
Jen explains America.
Why don't they know anything about geography? How is it possible to graduate without basic knowledge of geography? It's easy. Czechoslovakia ended...
It's very easy. It's very easy.
Without basic knowledge of geography. It's easy. Czechoslovakia ended 30 years ago. Why do they still call it that? Don't they have maps? So, is it true or just a stereotype that Americans have very little knowledge of world geography?
True.
This very morning, I was asked how I liked living in Czechoslovakia by an American doctor. He looked about my age. And
what did I say? It's better to be, some people say, it's better to be a master of one than a jack of all trades. So the doctor is cool, because he's a master at his craft. He didn't want to focus on a lot of things outside of that craft. He mastered his craft. You feel me? But that's hilarious.
Doctor. He looked about my age. And to be honest with you, my formal education in geography ended before Czechoslovakia split into two countries. And once you're forced to spell that country's name on a geography test, you're not trying to call it anything else. So yeah, I'd say it's true.
I could spell it if I just remembered to replace the H with a Z. I'd be good.
You're not trying to call...
Because the way it's Czechoslovakia, the way it sounds, if I just say that H is a Z, D Neal, easy.
Call it anything else. So yeah, I'd say it's true. Americans are crap at geography. And I think most of the blame goes to the American school system. Now, first of all, you need to know that the American school system is really 50 different school systems because education is run by each individual state. Currently, only 17 states require a geography course in middle school, and only 10 states require a geography course in high school. That's right before university. In one study, 3/4 of American 8th graders, that's about a 12, 13-year-old, scored below proficiency in geography. Only 31% of high school students had taken a world geography course. Fair to say, geography is not a priority. It's generally taught as part of social studies, along with government, economics, sociology, and history. Fortunately, history only started 250 years ago, so that leaves some extra time for us to study geography.
I swear to God, that's the way we teach it, as if history started when the U.S. was formed. Before the U.S., there was no history. That's the way it's taught. I mean, it's not, they don't literally say that, basically that's how it's taught to us in the U.S.
50 years ago, so that leaves some extra time for us to study geography. Social studies teachers reportedly spend only about 10% of class time on geography and devote most of it to studying the 50 US states, which is quite a lot. In the same way, foreign languages are not a priority in the American school system. At many schools, students are given the option of taking a language or an art class. And if you realize just how little Americans value art, you can see why most of us can't speak anything but English. American schools tend to focus on reading, math, and science. Three disciplines.
Those are the core. Reading, math, and science. And if you teach any of these subjects, you'll always have a job as a teacher.
American schools tend to focus on reading, math, and science. Three disciplines where American students perform at a completely average level compared to other developed nations. But here's where I have to cut Americans a break. The US is only slightly smaller than Europe. When a European drives across the continent, they're going to encounter Slavic speakers and Germanic speakers and Romance language speakers. They're going to drive through countries that have been their allies and their enemies in world wars. As a European, right now, you are highly aware of your country's proximity to Ukraine, and which of your neighbors are members of NATO and which are not. Because what's happening is right in your backyard. Whereas an American who's driving across their country doesn't see that many diverse changes. They don't have to consider.
They see a diversity, I guess, in people, but in culture, really, there's not really a diversity. Not everybody speaks English, but most people, you'll find English speakers everywhere. And I think you'll do that in Europe as well, because they speak multiple language, which is absolutely awesome. But they say we don't have a primary language, but I feel like English, or an official language, but I feel like English. Everybody in America, it's English to me personally.
Country doesn't see that many diverse changes. They don't have to consider much except how to order a soft drink and whether or not they need to conceal their automatic weapon. Oh, don't you worry. We'll get into guns. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss that video, because if you don't hit the bell, YouTube might not tell you when that video goes live. Only 42% of Americans have passports, but that doesn't mean that they're not well-traveled. They can experience glaciers and oceans, beaches, tropical rainforests, canyons and deserts, and incredible natural phenomena, all without leaving their own country, sometimes without even leaving their own car. Sometimes I think the fact that Americans don't know geography is actually geography's fault. Yeah, I'm blaming the victim.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Thank you, Jen. We appreciate that, Jen. Talk to me. Explain it.
Geography's fault.
Geography's fault.
I'm blaming the victim.
Thank you.
Hear me out. America is essentially one giant island with friendly neighbors to the north and the south who don't present that much of a threat. No offense, eh? We have two giant moats protecting us from the Vikings to the east and the dragons to the west. We haven't had to fight a war on our soil in over 130 years. Basically, we've gotten soft, especially when it comes to international affairs, and geography is the basis of that knowledge. America's influence around the world is massive, but the world doesn't really affect Americans' everyday lives, or at least Americans don't see that.
That's it. That is an absolute fact. We don't really know. I mean, I've heard of everything going on in Ukraine, but a lot of things around the world, like, I never hear about, or I never see, or I never know of, because I don't know. I feel like I get most of my news from social medias and
everyday lives, or at least Americans don't see that. We fought 2 wars in the last 20 years, not on our soil, and the average American hardly felt the pain of that because it was nowhere near them. Unless you or someone you loved was part of our all-voluntary military, you didn't have to do anything. In fact, you didn't even have to pay for it. Our grandchildren will take care of the bill. The bottom line is that Americans learn things on a need-to-know basis, and if you never leave the United States, you don't need to know much about the rest of the world. Okay, end of cutting Americans a break. I think
No, Jen. We're gonna end the video right there, guys, since she cut us that break. And, yeah, we are on a need-to-know basis. That is the perfect way to put it. And if we're not gonna travel a lot of the things, we feel like we don't need to know. Now I've learned a lot of, and I still need. There's still a ridiculous amount of things that I don't know. But I've learned things about Europe. I've learned things about different countries. I haven't learned much about Asia still. I feel like, or Europe's the only other continent. I feel like Europe's the only other continent I feel like I'm starting to learn more things about. And so, other than that, I don't really know anything else about anywhere else.
Much about the rest of the world. Okay, end of cutting Americans a break. I think it's awful that we don't know more about geography. We vote for politicians who wage wars halfway around the world, affecting millions of people we'll never meet. Someone coughs in, Wuhan, and it's literally in New York within the week. So, wake up, eh? I personally had an excellent geography teacher for 3 years, Mr. Kibido. We drew maps and studied rivers and cities and birthplaces of popes and world leaders. And for 3 years, I really knew every capital there was in the world. But then the Soviet Union fell apart just as I was moving on from his class and had to learn, I don't know, what did I learn? See, I can't even remember what I learned. And so I'll be honest, I have a real problem putting, for example, the stands on a map. But that's no excuse. I apologize for my compatriots and blame our education system, mostly the priorities of our educational system, who make America the center of the world. On this channel, I am actively trying to undo that worldview. I hope I answered your question. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you want to see more videos explaining America, and even some videos about Prague, which is the main point of this channel. Tak, uvidíme se příští týden. Ahoj.
Well, thank you so much, Jen. I feel like Jen explained it perfectly. It's not our fault, guys. It's not on us. And that's what I got out of this video. It's the education system. It's not us. I love this video though. She did do a good job explaining everything, and we definitely should know more, like I said. But that's all we got for this one. You guys got a favorite video you want to see me react to? You can subscribe to Patreon, or in the description section there's a Google form link. Hit the link, fill out your suggestions, send it to me. Want me to get yours faster than others? Fill out premium. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You want to subscribe to any of that? Put all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team on YouTube. It's your boy Neal. Out.